Today we're going to uncover what's keeping us stuck in that not enough or too much trap. And I'm going to show you how to reclaim your power and lead from a place of grounded enoughness. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to claim it today. So we're going to look at this trap first. Then we're going to uncover the story that a lot of us have been holding as true, but we're going to note it's a story. We're going to release outdated beliefs that have kept us stuck. Then we're going to reframe from the future using a guided visualization. And then I've got 2 questions for you to journal on your own that you can take forward and really take action on now. Cool? All right, let's get started. First, foremost, let's turn off all distractions. I know my phone just rang. I had to go run to the other room and put it on mute. So if you've got anything that's going to ping, let's turn it off now, because you have dedicated this next, let's say, 45 minutes for you and for your future self, and for this moment of breaking that cycle of the trap and really moving into a place of being just enough. I'm going to tell you just quickly a little bit about myself. I live just outside of Chicago in Riverside, which is just south of Oak Park, if you guys are familiar. My husband is an architect. I look super glam in that picture because I got my makeup professionally done for my girlfriend's wedding. That is not me normally, let's just say. I have 2 stepkids, 2 of my own. I love this picture of everyone together because the only one looking at me is this boy in the middle. And then I've got 2 cats, Sunday and Joey. I am ridiculously allergic to cats, but I love them so much. I can't help it. I am a corporate graphic designer turned entrepreneur. I started my first business in 2009, Step Brightly Creative Group. And then in 2017, I started my coaching practice, Be Bright Lisa. I am a certified transformational life and leadership coach. I call it mindset. Everything's mindset. And I also weave in personal branding and brand strategy to really help my clients, whether they're an executive moving into a portfolio career or a founder or entrepreneur who really wants to heighten their awareness as the founder through brand strategy. Because of my background as a designer and a leadership coach, it means that I am 100% clear in my business and personal goals. I manage my time and focus with intention. I get to say yes to projects that I'm aligned with, and I'm lucky enough to say no to projects that aren't. I have a book, Find Your Clear Vision. You can see it here behind me as well. And also podcast, Your Bright Personal Brand, if you guys want to stay in touch. All right, the trap between not enough and too much. Now, hands up, has anyone ever told you that you are not enough or you're too much? Or have you ever said this to yourself? Yes, we're getting waves. Absolutely. Yes, we got it in the chat as well. So listen, here's why. We have been trained to live inside of this trap. On one side, on the not enough, we've got what I call the good girl syndrome. This is where we stay small and we're likable and agreeable. We don't speak unless we are 100% sure the answer we have is correct, right? We got to keep the peace. We don't want to rock the boat. We want to be helpful and supportive, but humble, right? No, thank you. Oh my goodness, the team, right? We deflect. We want to blend in. We want to wait our turn, and we don't want to take up too much space. This is where we have been trained to keep our voice down. This not enough mindset of being the good girl. Guess what? We have been rewarded for being here. We have been told that staying small is good. It's nice. That's what nice girls do, right? Hands up if we've ever been told that. Yes, we adapt, we apologize, we minimize. And it's no wonder that nobody sees us as our full self. And likewise, we might not see ourselves in our full power. So on the other side of this trap, we've got too much. This is where we get backlash. Barbara was pointing to this earlier. If we are too confident, well, that girl, she is just so arrogant. If we're too emotional, we're unstable. If we're too ambitious, we're threatening, right? Think Hillary, think Kamala, think any woman leader who has been called polarizing or bossy or cold, right? If you're too direct, you're too aggressive. If you are too visible, if you're too out there, then you're not likable, right? They're too much. So this space of being too much, this is really disguised as this trap. We are stuck in the middle, in between these two places. But I want you to recognize these are stories that have been laid upon us for decades. I might even say centuries. This is how we were raised. These are some of the things that we have been told that we need to stay within these boundaries. So we got to stay in between, not enough or too much. So in this in-between spot, this is where a lot of women, most women, myself included, show up, right in this like smooshy middle part. And it's this psychological tension where we overperform, we underexpress, we live in this chronic state of self-doubt. I know I have been there. We are too much for some people, we're not enough for other people. And we're always trying to adjust, well, what's just right? I think of that, I think it's a Brothers Grimm fairy tale of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Well, she wants to be just right, right? And it's no wonder that we feel stuck in this space. Again, we have been conditioned to be here. So in this stuck middle space, we say one thing, but we feel another. We over-explain, we apologize, we try to like smooth out the edges, soften our strength. Sometimes we second guess. And we also take, well, is that okay? Should I share that? I don't know. That might be too much. Or we're constantly shape-shifting so we fit in and stay just right. Again, self-doubt all over the place. I have to admit, this morning, I thought I was too much because it's boiling hot, as we were saying, and underneath this jacket, I've got a tube top on because it's hot as all get out. I was like, this tube top might be too much to wear to Petco with my daughter. I don't know. Maybe I should put a shirt on over it because it's too much, right? I was just going to Petco to buy a new bird cage for the robin we found this morning. But listen, we have been conditioned to be this way, and we have to walk this fine line between not enough and too much. So in the chat, I want you, on a scale from 1 to 10, do you often find yourself thinking, I'm not doing enough, I'm not enough? Or are you more like, oh, I am way too much, I need to tone down, right? Like Barbara was saying earlier, I'm just doing too much, I'm doing 5 things at once. It might be a blend of both. We got some 9s. Yeah, we got either a 2 or a 9, a 1 and a 10. Totally. You can be on both sides. All right, there's a 4, too much all the time, 3 or 10, 4, 10. Ooh, lots of too muches. Okay, I don't see any 5 or 6s stuck right in the middle. Yes, even when I'm doing too much, it still feels like it's not enough. 100%. So I don't know which way to go. Yeah, okay, we got a 5, 6. We're stuck, right? Which side do we go to? All right, listen. This is not about fixing ourselves. This is the story that we have inherited. And here's the shift. Enough is not something that we need to earn. It is something that we need to reclaim. It's something you already have that you need to reclaim. In the work that I do, I teach that leadership, it's not one size fits all, whether that's personal leadership, which is kind of what we're talking about today, personal leadership, or professional leadership. It's really an exchange of energy, the way you naturally show up when you are not performing and you're not shrinking. You're yourself. You feel comfortable in your skin. You can reclaim, I often call it like your throne. My Clients are queens. They sit on the throne, but sometimes we get knocked off that throne. To help you further explore this version of your embodied enoughness, I want to invite you to take this 5-question quiz. This is going to reveal your creative leadership style, because when you know your style, then you can lead from this place of confidence and clarity and trust in your own enoughness. This is you completely enough. We're going to keep going together right now, but I just wanted you to have this just in case, save it for later. I'll also pop good. We've got the URL in the chat. This is going to, again, help you dive deeper to really understand your flavor of decision-making when you show up in your full power. Okay. When have you been told or felt you were too much or not enough? We can share in the chat. Maybe this showed up in your decision-making, right? Sometimes this even shows up in really small ways. Well, I don't know. Should we have Mexican or should we have Thai? Oh, you decide. You decide. No, I don't want to. Oh, but I really want Thai. But right? That bouncing back and forth. Sometimes this shows up in body issues. I weigh too much, right? I eat too much. Shows up in relationships, performance reviews, when I take control, which is most of the time. Yes, all the time. I just feel it in relationships. Well, I'll share a story. When I was in college, I had a stalker. It was a friend who turned into a lunatic, and it was terrifying. He ended up in jail, but it really changed the way that I showed up in the world. I started to wear really baggy clothes. I dyed my hair. When I went to college in San Francisco, so when I rode the Muni to and from my classes that were downtown, I would wear sunglasses, headphones, and have a book. So that way I gave the impression that nobody needs to talk to me, right? I thought I had this stalker because I was too much. So I tried to shrink, right? And I have carried that story with me. Don't stand out too much. But what's interesting for me is I can do that online. I can do that here with you guys. But in person, like with my tube top situation today, I don't do it in person. I kind of feel like, oh, I might be too much. So you can start to see, like, whether it's trauma with a capital T or trauma with a lowercase t, again, we carry these stories with us, right? And here's the thing. That fear you may have of being too much or not enough, it may also be showing up in your career, in the boundaries you keep or don't keep, in the control, like we were talking about, in your visibility, in your preferences we've got here, in your past marriage. Yes. So again, we are revealing the story. Where might you be hiding in plain sight? So again, the work that I do in personal branding is not about being or doing too much. It's about an energy exchange. My energy to you and vice versa. So when we show up from a place of being a good girl, you can, like, even when I do that, I like shrink down. That's the energy we're bringing. Or sometimes if we're simply being ourselves, the person who's receiving that energy thinks it's too much. That's the work we need to do, is balancing our own energy, our own mindset, so that we are confident to show up however we do. So the trap with personal branding, I just want to weave it into this real quickly, is that oftentimes when people show up in their careers or online with their reputation, you don't have to call it a personal brand, you can call it your reputation. We often think of it as, well, in the mirror, this is how people see me. So this is what I need to do. This is what I need to look like. And it needs to be perfect, or it needs to be this or that. I want you to start to think of your personal brand, your business, your reputation, not as a mirror reflecting back to you, but instead as a window. We are looking through this window to your future and to the impact that you are going to make. And that is so much stronger than what anyone thinks of you. All right. That is so much stronger than what anyone thinks of you. That's the power. That's the throne that we're going to go sit on. But we still might have a little bit of like, right? A little of that smallness. There are outdated beliefs residing in each and every one of us. Now, what outdated belief are you ready to retire because it keeps you small? Tell me in the chat. Here's just a few. People pleasing, over giving. Oh, no, you go ahead. Right? Perfectionism. That's one of mine, particularly when I first started my business. Oh, no, I need to have this offer completely perfect before I launch it. And then when I launch it, I'm going to do it super quietly, just in case something might be wrong. Right? Yes, rest is a lazy mindset. I feel that one too. Oh, I need to be doing something. I need to be going to Petco when I really should be working. Yeah, adding in high standards and expectations. Yes, high standards and expectations of ourselves and of other people. Yeah, shrinking. Okay, so let's take a look at how can we reframe this. If we are feeling this outdated belief, this is what's missing. This is how you can take a look at, all right, if I feel like I people please all over the place, I need to have some clear boundaries. If I'm over giving, I need to be generous. Yes, that's just part of who I am, but I can also be discerning. I can practice saying no. Perfectionism, this is good enough for now. Good enough for now, publish. That's what I always do. Good enough for now, hit and publish, closing the computer. If you shrink for safety, again, that's me too, out in public, I need to show up in integrity. It is a practice. It's fully a practice, even for me, and I'm a certified mindset coach. Now, rest is lazy mindset. Barbara, I'm looking at you for this one. Rest is strategic and sacred. That's why humans sleep, for example, right? That's why even professional athletes have rest days. All right, we're going to retire our outdated belief. We're going to look at what's missing, and we're going to focus on that as our action this week. So before we dive in any further, I want us to get super clear. You don't need to claim enoughness. It is already within you, whether you call it enoughness, worthiness, value, your leadership. It is not about earning it. It's about standing in it, being it. It is not an affirmation. I am worthy. I am worthy. No. It's about standing in it because you already are. And that's the practice. It's practice of standing, like for me, and how I dress and show up out in the real world, is standing in integrity, being with the uncomfortableness and practicing from that place and doing it anyways. That's the growth, right? That's the little tiny step outside my comfort zone and into that future vision through the window of who I am becoming. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Just put a yes in the chat if you are. Also, as let's just pause too for a moment. What's your biggest insight? What's coming up for you? I don't like to be uncomfortable either. But I do. Yes, not alone. Even the tiniest things like my tube tops, silly. How much power we give others. Yes, Marilyn. I want to have everything figured out first. Oh, yeah, we've got to have it all right. Shifting mindset. You guys are going fast. Shifting mindset to new thinking. Awareness makes a difference in changing. Yes, it's all self-awareness. I'm hearing a lot of what I'm currently learning in my codependency work. Oh, hand up for codependency right here. I've got a great book recommendation. You probably already know. Trust my intuition and believe in myself. Yes, it's as simple as standing in it. All right. We're going to take a look at 3 ways that you probably already embody your enoughness. You might just not recognize it yet, but we're going to call it to the forefront. You have already lived in your enoughness. For example, a moment that you followed your intuition and it paid off. The tiniest moment that you listened to that inner feeling and said yes to yourself, that's enoughness. A boundary you set that protected your peace. Clear boundaries. Nobody likes clear boundaries because why would they, right? They're for us. Or what about a compliment that you may have brushed off? What if you believed it? What if you said, thank you? Period, end of story, right? Absorb it. That's owning and being enough. So let's take another look at other concrete ways that you may see and feel your enoughness in action in your body, okay? That grounded stillness after a yoga class, or even a deep breath, right? Let's take a deep breath right now. That always resets me into my body. Or how about that fire in your belly when you finally speak your truth, when you say the thing out loud? That's your body grounding you and reclaiming your enoughness. Or what about after you say, no, no, thank you? There's a little bit of, it makes a lot of people nervous, especially us, good girls, right? That we need to, oh, absolutely, totally, I've got it, no problem. We can also say no. We can be direct. We just need to embody and be in our enoughness. All right, here's one more. Emotional cues that are going to help you recognize that you are enough. How about that moment when someone says to you, thank you, I needed that? When you see someone else clearly and they know it, they feel it. That's because you're sharing and reflecting your enoughness. Or when you feel completely at ease in your own skin. That for me, that's mine. When I know, I'm like, you got this, Lisa. That's my enoughness cue. Or how about when you stopped trying and you just were? You just were yourself. You just showed up. Sometimes I do that. Like I had to get into the habit of going to yoga class in the morning. And I would be like, all right, Lisa, we're taking our body, we're putting it in the car, and we're driving to the class. I took my mind out of it. I stopped trying to think my way out of it, and I just did it. You can also do that in owning your enoughness. Or maybe for you, it's like when you're walking in nature, dancing in your kitchen while making dinner, or sitting across from somebody who sees all of you and all your vulnerabilities, and you feel comfortable. Sometimes being enough isn't loud, right? It's not some big moment, some big to do. It's not a performance. Again, it's just a being. Yes, Nancy says in the chat, we are human beings, not human doings. It can just be in a quiet moment, that self-awareness, when you're fully rested, when you're speaking clearly, when you choose yourself. All right, you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Do you see yourself in any of these moments?
Yes.
Barbara says, ooh, yes. We've got the calm quiet of self-acceptance. Beautiful. All right, now I want us to go inward for a moment. It's pretty rare, even for me, to like take a moment mid-afternoon to go into a visualization. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to guide you through probably just like 3 or 4 minutes of a visualization, a quiet meditation. And at the end, there's just going to be 2 questions for you. You don't need to write them down. I'll post them on the next slide. And then I just want you to take a couple of minutes after that to write them down. See what came up for you. We don't need to share. You can if you want. We'll have some time. But this is just for you. So first, I want you to begin by just getting comfortable in your seat. You can close your eyes if that feels good for you. Soften your jaw, drop your shoulders, maybe roll out your shoulders. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale fully. Let's take one more deep breath in and out. Soften your eyes. Soften your body. Get out any wiggles that need to get out. Let's just get present to your breath. I want you to imagine yourself walking through a doorway. Just a beautiful, simple doorway. And you reach the handle, open the door, and it's opening into your future. And this is not some far off, unreachable place. This is you opening the door to seeing you on the other side. The you on the other side of the door is you 6 months from now. A version of you who has fully claimed her enoughness, her integrity, boundaries, truth. As you step through this doorway, notice the space around you. Where are you? What are you wearing? How do you carry yourself? How do you feel? Now, as you see your future self, notice that she's smiling at you. She's grounded, clear, radiant. You can see and feel her power, her joy, her enoughness. Not because she's trying to impress anyone, but just because she feels at home in herself. Notice how she moves closer to you. Notice how she takes up space without apology. How she makes decisions clearly with confidence. How she trusts her voice, her timing, and her presence. As you're looking at her, I want you to ask, what did you let go of to become this version of me? What did you let go of to become this version of me? Just listen to her answer for a moment. Now I want you to ask her another question. What do you know now that I need to remember? What do you know now that I need to remember? I want you to take in her energy, her thoughts, words, and message, and let it sink in. Let it sink into your body because this is you, the version of you that's been waiting to lead, to be, and to stand in this confident space. And when you're ready, you can give her a big hug. You can smile, hold her hands. But we want to let her know that we are thankful for her holding this space for us and the gift that she has just given us. And now it's time to take a step back, head back to the door, and we're going to come back through the door to where we are today, keeping her clarity and her calm with us. Take one more deep breath in. As we exhale, we can close the door and return to this space. And slowly bring back some sensation to your body. Maybe it's wiggling your toes or fingers. Come back to this version of you right now, but with this new knowledge, remembering who you are now and who you have become as a result of knowing her. So, from this place, we asked our future self these two questions. And as you come back into this space together right now, I want to give you about 2 minutes and just jot down these two things that she gifted you, letting you know what you needed to let go of to become that future self and what you need to know now. Take a minute. I'm going to go quiet as you write down these two new insights. I'm going to move forward a little bit. You're welcome to keep writing, but I want to let you know that you are not too much. You are not behind. You are becoming more of you. And that is always enough. You are enough. And you always have been. I asked a couple clients, what will you start to do when you stand in this leadership, in this new truth, integrity, enoughness? And one said, I will share my ideas early instead of waiting for them to be perfect. Another client said, I will speak with more clarity in meetings instead of over explaining or apologizing. Another client said, they're going to start the podcast that they've been talking about for years. Why wait? So, friends, I am super happy that we've got about 10 minutes to continue to chat, because I would, if you're up and willing and want to stand in integrity and sit on that throne, I would love to hear what your future self may have told you. And again, before I come off of sharing my screen, here is that quiz to help you explore this version of that embodied, emboldened enoughness, so you can know your creative leadership style and lead with that place of confidence and clarity and trusting your voice. So I know I took us there, right? Sometimes it's like, whew, after you go through a meditation and you speak to your future self, it might be a little bit much. Hi, Tony. But if you're willing to share, I think sometimes hearing this and holding this space for each other is really important. Because as someone said in the chat, knowing you aren't alone in this, 100%. 100%. We feel this because we have been trained to do it, right? But releasing that expectation and being yourself, a gift.